The profit and loss account section is the main part of Form B for small business owners. This is where you report your business's income and expenses to figure out if you made a profit or a loss for that tax year. Before you start, make sure you have these documents ready before you fill out the form. Your profit and loss statement is a summary of your business's income and expenses for the year 2025. All your business expense receipts are used to fill in the expense details by category. Your business bank statements are important to check your income and expenses. Your sales records or invoices are used to fill in your total sales. Important reminder, make sure your profit and loss account is for the period of January 1st, 2025 to December 31st, 2025, which is the assessment year 2025. The deadline for e-filing Form B is July 15th, 2026. Step 1. Find and choose the business section in Form B. After you log into the MyTax portal, pick Form B for the 2025 tax year. Form B has a few different parts. Look for the part called Section C, Business Income, or Part 4, Business Income, or the Profit and Loss Account. Click on that part to start filling it out. Step 2. Fill in your gross income, also known as revenue. Gross income is the total amount of sales or money your business earned in the year 2025. In the form, what you need to fill in is sales or revenue, which is the total sales of goods or services before any costs are taken out. Other income is money earned outside of regular sales, like bank interest, rental income, profit from selling assets, or supplier rebates. For example, if your annual sales are 150,000 ringgit and bank interest income is 500 ringgit, then your total gross income is 150,500 ringgit. It's important to include all your business income, including cash sales that don't go through the bank, online sales from places like Shopee, Lazada, TikTok Shop, and income from freelance work. Step 3. Fill in cost of sales, if it applies to you. Cost of sales is the direct cost that goes into making the products or services you sell. You only need to fill this part if you sell physical products, okay? In the form, there will be a few spots you need to fill in. For opening inventory, put the value of your stock on January 1st, 2025. For purchases, write down the total amount of goods bought throughout 2025. For closing inventory, put the value of your stock on December 31st, 2025. The cost of sales will be figured out automatically using this formula. Opening inventory plus purchases minus closing inventory. For example, if your opening inventory is 10,000 ringgit, purchases are 50,000 ringgit, and closing inventory is 15,000 ringgit, then your cost of sales is 45,000 ringgit. A tip for service businesses. If you only sell services, the cost of sales section is usually empty, or you just put in direct costs like payments to subcontractors. Step 4. Fill in adjusted income. After you've filled in your gross income and cost of sales, the system will automatically calculate your adjusted income. Adjusted income is your gross income minus your cost of sales. For example, if your gross income is Rm 150,500 and your cost of sales is Rm 45,000, then your adjusted income is Rm 105,500. If this adjusted income is negative, it means you have a loss, and the system will record that loss. And this loss can be carried forward to be deducted from business income in future years. Step 5. Fill in allowed operating expenses. This part is really important, and it's also where people often make mistakes. All the expenses you put in must meet the wholly and exclusively rule. That means they have to be completely and only for your business. Some of the main expense categories for small businesses include salaries and wages, like employee salaries, EPF, SOXO, EIS. But your own salary as the owner can't be included. Rent, like rent for your business place or machine rental. Make sure it's only for business. Utilities, like electricity, water, and internet bills. If you use your home as an office, you can only claim the business percentage. Advertising and promotion, including costs for online ads or printing banners. Make sure to keep receipts and proof of the ads. Platform commissions, like fees from Shopee, Lazada, Grab, Foodpanda. These are direct business costs and can be fully claimed. Maintenance and repairs, for example, servicing a business vehicle or fixing a machine. Remember to keep your receipts. Office supplies, like stationery or printer ink. Even if it's a small amount, you still need to keep the receipt. Telecommunication, like business, phone bills, internet, or postage. If you use a personal number for business, only include the business percentage. Travel and accommodation, for example. Flight tickets or hotels for business trips. Keep your itinerary and receipts. This is not for personal vacations. For vehicles, gas, tolls, parking, and vehicle maintenance, you need to keep a travel record or logbook to show the business and personal split. In the form, there's usually a list of expense categories already set up. Enter the total for each category based on your profit and loss statement. If a category isn't listed, look for an Add or Others button and type in the type of expense. The system will automatically calculate the total operating expenses. For example, for a freelance designer, if there are no employees for salaries and wages, it's 0. Rent for the premises or workspace is 12,000 ringgit. Utilities, internet, and electricity, 30% for business, 1,800. Advertising and promotion, 2,000. Platform commissions, 0. Office supplies like laptop accessories and stationery, 1,200. Telecommunication, internet plan 50% for business, 900. Travel and accommodation, 1,500. Vehicle, tolls, parking, and gas, 60% for business, 2,400. So, the total operating expenses are 21,800 ringgit. Step 6. Fill in the capital allowance for your business assets. Capital allowance is a claim for physical things you buy for your business, like computer equipment, laptops, desktops, printers, machines and business tools, business vehicles, and even office furniture. For capital allowance rates, computers and IT equipment can be claimed 100% in the year you buy them, or 40% plus 20%. For vehicles, it's 100% if it's a commercial vehicle, or 40% plus 20%. Office furniture is 40% plus 20%. An important note, for small businesses, you can claim an initial allowance and an annual allowance for assets you buy. Remember, this capital allowance is different from regular operating expenses. To fill in the capital allowance in Borang B, find the section for Elon Modal, or capital allowance. List each asset you bought in the year 2025, the type of asset, the date you bought it, and the original cost. The system will automatically calculate the total capital allowance. Step 7. Check the calculation for your final taxable income, or statutory income. After all your information is entered, the system will figure out your final taxable income. The formula is final taxable income equals taxable income minus operating expenses and also minus capital allowance. For a full example of how this works, here's how it goes. Gross income of 150,500 ringgit. Subtract cost of sales, which is 45,000 ringgit. So, your taxable income becomes 105,500 ringgit. Then, subtract operating expenses, which are 21,800 ringgit, and subtract capital allowance, which is 5,000 ringgit. So, your final taxable income is 78,700 ringgit. This final taxable income amount will be combined with other income, if you have any, like employment income, and then moved to the next part of the tax calculation. Okay, here's a quick summary of how to fill out the profit and loss account. First, find the business income or profit and loss account section in Form B. Second, fill in your gross income, which is your sales and other income. Third, fill in your cost of goods sold, if you sell physical products. Fourth, fill in your allowed operating expenses by category. Fifth, fill in the capital allowance for any business assets you bought. Sixth, the system will automatically figure out your final taxable income. And seventh, double-check all your numbers before moving on to the next part. There are a few important things to remember. Make sure you keep all your receipts for at least 7 years for audits. Use exact numbers, not guesses, because mistakes can lead to reviews or penalties. Don't mix personal expenses like home water, electricity, or internet bills. Only the part used for your business can be claimed. The owner's salary cannot be claimed because the business owner is not an employee of their own business. And finally, refer to your profit and loss statement. Don't fill it out from memory. Make sure you use a prepared statement. For more help, if you're still confused or have specific questions about your business, you can call the LHDN Care line at 03-8911-1000. You can also check out the official LHDN portal at https://www.hazil.gov.my or the MyTax portal at https://mytax.hazil.gov.my. By following these tips, you should be able to fill out the profit and loss account section in Form B correctly. Make sure every number you put in is based on real records, not just guesses, to avoid any problems with the LHDN later on.